Go ahead and raise your hands if you have questions. Josh Moore, you're ready, so go right ahead.
Cool. So they can hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Good.
Awesome. I'll take it easy on you, Liam. So you, after the Chattanooga game, you kind of, sort of confessed that maybe not that you didn't take them seriously, but maybe not as seriously as you thought preparation wise, or you kind of wanted to maybe go out there and, practice a little bit. I assume New Mexico State at, this point and going through a whole season maybe has your attention more than maybe the Mocs did.
I think so. I mean, Coach Deuce made a good point to our team, I thought, on Monday. The Chattanooga situation, you're in your third game coming off of, 2 pretty good wins, right? And you're just not really mature yet as a team to truly know who you are to handle the business in the right way. And, we definitely underestimated an opponent. I don't necessarily think that, it was more so for us the latter part of the week. I thought that we took it easier in terms of the practice, the mentality and all that. And so far this week, I can say that these have probably been 2 of our better practices that we've had on a Monday and Tuesday as a team, specifically obviously on offense as well. That just the energy, the energy, just being serious about this opponent. And, because like we've seen, any given Saturday, anything can happen. And I got to believe that this team being this far into the season is going to take any opportunity, hopefully, and go attack it.
If I could follow up on that real quick, on that subject, kind of, from early on there in the season and you going through some of the stuff there early on that you did, a new job and new responsibilities. And from then till now, maybe like, the way or a couple ways maybe that you think you've improved the most in your job.
I think that just sort of adapting a little bit more to the college game, I guess, as you go as a coordinator, and there's things that you do at the NFL level that you can't do in college and vice versa. And things like, unbalanced formation of the boundary, some of those things that I wasn't, as familiar with that as an NFL coach. I had done some of those things at Maine, but probably not to the extent as we've done them this year. We've probably run a lot of unbalanced plays. I can't tell you the exact number. And it's something that gives you a little bit of an advantage offensively. Just kind of adapting to some of those things. And, the college game's different. It was funny when we just practiced at the Titans facility last week, and you're back on an NFL field and the ball's played in the, really in the middle of the field. And it's just, you walk out there like, oh my God, this is so nice. This is so nice. Everything's in the middle. But it's just one of those things that adapting and hopefully overcoming some of the, the shortcomings and try to improve as a play caller every day.
Nick Roush.
Liam, you all have messed with the wide zone kind of in bits and pieces. What do you think the next step is to be able to make that kind of more a part of your offense, kind of how you envisioned it when you got to campus?
I don't know, Nick. I mean, I think that it's a balance of doing it enough to where we're successful and efficient on it, but not getting away from what our players do well. And our players prefer and run inside zone, tight zone, and gap schemes really well. And that's something that they've done well for years here. And I'd really be a fool to get away from some of those things. And we've probably made our way back to more of those things in terms of just some of the different toss schemes on the perimeter, just trying to change up the scheme a little bit up front. I mean, at the end of the day, wide zone's great, but it's a play that's it's a little bit of a feast or famine at times because you can get some TFLs. I just don't love being lateral. And when you're playing against pressure teams, if it's internal pressure, it's okay. But if it's external pressure teams, you get thinned out on the edges very quickly. And that's something that it's just more so based on teams that we're playing and when we want to hit some of those. So I think that it's something we'll continue to work on, continue to get better at. it's funny. I mean, during the game against against Tennessee, Luke Fortner was asking for it a few times, which is good to hear as as a play caller. You want to hear your players suggest plays because they know what they're getting up front, the techniques, the fundamentals, and things that they're getting inside. So it's a play that they have enough confidence in right now to ask for, which is nice.
I take it it's more of a thing you work on during a bowl practice or spring practice kind of deal.
For sure. I mean, I couldn't tell you what our efficiency is on the wide zone right now, but I think that it's been fairly successful. I mean, not to the point of running it every play, and that's where we get into a little bit of a different deal where the Shanahans, Sean, that's who they are, is a wide zone team with wrinkles of gap schemes and tight zone. We're probably built differently up front in the mentality and just how these guys have played over the years. We're better at tight zone and running some gap schemes with mixing in wide zone as opposed to our staple.
Josh?
Liam, I think a lot of fans, and I'd probably even count myself among that group in terms of wanting to see this, is wanted to see Bo last week, or wanted to see you guys maybe have enough, an opportunity to put him in and get some reps there and series there for him. What is he, what have you seen from him in camp? I mean, we've not really, or practice, we've not seen him since the first game there, and how ready would he be to take this on if he needs to go out there on Saturday?
Yeah, I think anytime you go into a football game, you want to win by as many points as possible, and really no matter who the opponent is, no matter if it's Vanderbilt or Chattanooga or New Mexico State or Tennessee. So you go into every game, trying to score and trying to do as much as you can to win the game, and it's really not about other guys getting in. I mean, you hope that they can get in and do their job to the best of their ability, but we don't go into a game thinking like, let's get these guys in. So I think he's done a nice job. He's continuing to get better. I think he's more and more comfortable with the system, needs to continue to develop physically and get stronger upper body, lower half. He definitely needs this offseason to continue to get stronger, but he's done a nice job. And if we see him on Saturday, I have full confidence that he'll go in and play well.
Lonnie, is that your hand up, or are you trying to do something else? You're on mute. You got to take it off mute.
I was thinking.
All right, go ahead. Lonnie, you there? All right, we'll come back to Lonnie. Nick, go ahead.
Josh Ali is one of the
Thinking about I was thinking about asking a question, but I didn't know how it's going to sound. Go ahead.
Josh Ali is just one of the few experienced guys in that receiver room that you had this year. What has he done as a leader, and how has he really helped those young guys come along? Because you've got a lot of important young guys in that room.
I think similar to some of our older senior leaders on the unit, guys like Luke Fortner, Darren Kennard, guys like those guys that have been around for a long time. It's practice habits. It's practicing. Josh doesn't take reps off. He goes hard. He does what he can. He really works at it. He works at his technique and fundamentals in detail every single day. I think those are the things that really pass along some of those habits that we're trying to get to. The standard at which we're trying to practice every day, our meeting standard, our practice standard, our walkthrough standard, those things Josh meets, and he does it the right way. And he's very coachable. Josh is extremely coachable. He's always smiling. He always has a great way about him. And I think that bleeds into the younger guys for sure. Just the habits, the way he goes about his business, and obviously producing, being able to catch, but he have 7 for 75 against Tennessee, had another good game last week, and just continues to do really good things. And, I'm really, really excited about him hopefully finishing off this season the right way and seeing him play at the highest level of football.
Jeff Drummond.
Hey, Liam, wondering about Juton McClain and some of your excitement about him moving forward and ways you guys can utilize him in the future.
Yeah, Juton, is a guy that I was very high on coming out of spring, and had some injuries and some things sort of, derail him off of that path that he was on. And he's just doing all the right things. He's so conscientious. He gives you another dynamic guy in that backfield that can make somebody miss and do some good things. And he's a weapon out of the backfield. He can catch the football. He can do some things. And as you guys saw against LSU on the wheel route, and you saw him make some people miss on Saturday, which was great to see. And he ran through a couple people, a couple of safeties. So really excited about Jatan getting back and getting a feel for the game. And it's just another guy in that backfield with Chris and Smoke that we can give the ball to and get some production out of, which is great.
If I can follow up on that, sometimes when you got a guy that's like a third down back or a guy that can catch the ball, he doesn't do some of the other things well, but he looks like a guy, he can be a power runner or a guy that can, catch the ball.
Totally. And this is coming from a guy that, he needs an off season. He needs this off season to get bigger, faster, stronger in the weight room. And I do think that, really good things are ahead of Jatan. I mean, he's just puts his head down, works, does the right things. And you just never hear anything out of him. He never says anything. He doesn't pout when he doesn't get playing time. And when his playing time comes, he took advantage of it. And that's what you saw out of him on Saturday. And that's why you saw the guys be excited for him to have that production on Saturday. Was they knew that he was buying his time. And it was just the opportunity came up and he took advantage of it. And those guys were really excited to see him play well on Saturday night.
All right, last question, Lonnie. We'll try you one more time.
Yes, do you hear me now?
Yep,
Yes.
Go ahead.
Reason why I changed my mind a while ago is because, like I said, I had a tooth pulled today, and I didn't know how it was going to sound because I got gauze in my mouth. But I'll go on and
Pretty
talk,
good, Lonnie.
and I'll ask the question anyway. You all came out Saturday and you jumped all over Vandy. I mean, you scored every position, pretty much every possession you had, and things went, extremely well. Now the question I want to ask is that what I want to touch on. You came out the second half and things started off kind of sporadic. I think we missed 3 straight passes in a row, and then you had some other things. The second half just didn't go quite like you. I don't think like you planned it. Talk about what you think might have happened there.
We start off the second half and we get a holding call on a run that gets out past the 50 that brought us back. And then 2 plays later, or the next play, we have a offensive pass interference when we running double hitches.
Yeah, talk about that one.
We have 2 penalties on a drive that, we're moving the ball. Chris's run got out past the 50 in the plus territory, and we're rolling again. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I don't really think that there was a ton of issues there besides penalties. And then it's tough to overcome 2 holdings. Penalty. I mean, 2 15, big time penalties. In the same drive. And then, at the end of the day, that's an SEC defense, right? And they're going to make some sort of an adjustment. They're going to do something when you're getting your beat like that. I mean, I would have expected them to come out in the second half and do something different and do something and play with enthusiasm and attitude, because I know they do a good job and they're trying to build a program there. And I wasn't surprised that we didn't go out and just beat them every single snap. Now, is that our goal? Absolutely. That's the goal. But they're an SEC football team at home on senior night. They're going to have some pride about what they do as well and step up and get a stop. And that's just what happened. And, I know everybody wants to see a score on every single drive, just like we do. But, when we go on a 7-minute drive and we end up kicking a field goal and take off all the clock that we wanted. And at the end of the day, I'm just really happy with the win, the way that we started. I told the guys we played extremely good football for 28 minutes, extremely good football. And then, hey, we don't finish at the end of the half. It was one of those situations when you take a sack, it's really difficult to get back after a sack. We knew we got the ball at halftime. And then we just didn't come out and take care of business with the penalties, really hurt us, and, end up kicking 2 field goals. And it's just the way the thing went. So at the end of the day, really proud of the way the guys played, the way they came out and took care of business, because it was a no contest and after the first half.